Welcome and thank you for joining. My name is Dave Sloan, and I'm going to run through the Megaport Internet product today with a quick demo on deploying Megaport Internet in a number of scenarios within our portal. And this is part of the ongoing series of the Megaport Live tech drop-ins. Just for a level set, so that we know what we're talking about, the Megaport product is based on the concept of network as a service, or NAS. And so NAS provides the network in a way that's much more aligned with cloud subscription models, with services being available on demand and in near real time. NAS provides an underlay of building blocks for organizations like yourself to deploy a whole host of technical solutions to match your operational business requirements. And so what makes a NAS platform different from standard telco offerings? Well, first off, it's the reach. Megaport NAS is part of a virtualized global ecosystem built on pre-existing hardware. And so this gives you the ability and capacity to deploy to all the well-known cloud service providers, giving you access to thousands of IT-based services, as well as having connectivity to 1,000 data centers across the globe. And all this can be done in near real time in a software-defined manner. And NAS has a very predictable performance. It's like having your own fiber lines. Your data travels on our private network or a NAS private network with no internet within the core. All of these components can then be linked together with virtualized network cross connects. And these, we call them in Megaport VXCs, but these are layer 2 MPLS pseudo wires. And all this capability gives it the added benefit of making it really highly secure. And furthermore, you only pay for the capacity you wish to deploy. As it's pre-built and virtualized, you can scale that capacity up and down on demand. You no longer have to worry about traffic spikes or wasted capacity. This ensures good end user application performance. The Megaport on-demand components are very versatile, allowing you the ability to launch across virtual cross connects across our network to create internet connections to things like physical ports within data centers, to connect to devices like virtual routers or virtual firewalls and virtualized SD-WAN element within our network, facilitating connections to branch locations or those critical remote sites. And this makes NAS services very cost effective. This all can be designed and deployed and fully operational within minutes and be available for only the term you need. So this reduces your upfront costs to zero, as your Megaport assets are virtual and require no capital investment or hardware provision. And you can design, deploy, manage, and monitor it all on a single secure portal. It's point and click. You can bring your own cloud service keys, you, and this makes establishing private connectivity simple. But for those with more sophisticated needs or requirements, both Terraform and API build calls are available for a whole host of deployment and management scenarios. So here's a quick snapshot of our global reach. And you can access in over 1,000 locations across the globe through Megaport. Please note we have two types of locations where you can connect to Megaport's network. There's an installed location, and these locations contain Megaport hardware. And then there's an enabled location, and these locations share the same campus or metro area as a Megaport installed location. Megaport's hardware is not located within the enabled location facility, but you can access it through a private intracampus or intra-metro cross-connect. And in around about 80% of these locations, Megaport can provide these services for you. And as you can see, we have a very strong presence in North America, EMEA, and APAC, with some presence in LATAM, which is increasing, and some additional scope into other markets that we're looking to develop. So let's get on to Megaport Internet. And so here's a quick overview of the connectivity options available for integrating Megaport Internet services into your environments. So the first one at the very top, the port, which is the blue device, This is a physical connection to your Megaport within a data center. You connect your infrastructure via a cross connect with capabilities from ports ranging from 1 gig to 400 gig. And ports are available in over 1,000 data centers globally, and these are ready for immediate use. There's the Megaport Cloud Router, the green device on this. The Megaport Cloud Router is a virtual layer 3 routing service available up to 100 gig. Represented here in this diagram as a single VRF, it enables seamless traffic exchange between two or more cloud environments, and this can include internet connectivity, and this is available in 129 locations. Without requiring physical infrastructure, it acts as a transit point at the edge for multi-cloud or even hybrid deployments. And then finally, there's Megaport Virtual Edge, the red device. This MVE creates also a virtual point of presence, available up to 32 core and 128 gig of RAM, and it's an on-demand virtual network function platform that allows you to deploy things like SD-WAN gateways, virtual routers and firewalls using your own licenses. And this all happens within minutes. With also coverage in 129 global locations, MVEs are ideal for extending your network to the edge and bridging public and private routing domains together securely. Okay, so what do we offer as standard with the internet proposition? Well, immediately it's scalable and orderable from 20 megabits to 10 gigabits with larger bandwidths available on request through your account team. We offer flexible terms, including committed bandwidth on term and increased capacity available by the hour for peaks in your internet traffic usage. And all of this is fully deployable via API and Terraform. Our standard service deployment uses static routing with a single /31 IPv4 address or a /64 IPv6 address in the public space. A simple, easy to use setup method, ideal for small or predictable networks. And for more sophisticated users, you can bring your own PI space and advertise this using BGP. We also offer a range of resiliency options, which was on the previous slide, to improve availability and business continuity, which I will demonstrate somewhat in the demo. We can also provide additional PA space or IP addresses in the public domain, which allow you to use, if you wish to, local private ASs, which means you can use BGP even if you don't have your own PI allocation, so you can still build those resilient options. So I'm now going to jump onto the Megaport portal and show you how quickly you can provision Megaport Internet. I'm going to do this to a port in Paris, an MCR in the United Kingdom, and an MV in Frankfurt. And we're going to look at those resiliency options through the diversity zone. So let me just pick up the portal. And here we have a portal pre-configured with a port in Paris, Frankfurt, an MCR in Frankfurt, sorry, an MCR in London, and a MVE in Frankfurt. So the first thing, let's build an internet connection into that port in London, in Paris. It's very simple. Just click connection. We go to Megaport Internet in the connectivity options. And here we have the two resilient nodes that we've got on offer here. So I could take an internet VLAN on both of those, or I could choose which one is similar in color to the diversity zone that I'm selecting. So it doesn't have to be blue to blue, but it's just good practice to do that so you can keep your services segregated. But I could do blue to red or have a blue and a red both on this one blue port. I'm going to select blue to blue, so the gateway there is in Equinix Paris PA2. I select next. I give that a rate limit, so in this particular instance I'm going to do 200 meg. We've given the service a name. We can also, this is free text, so if you want to put any references yourselves that are traceable, that you can assign to a project or a department, then that's available. We also have the ability to shut down the VXC with internet on it. So rather than deleting the service, in the event of predictive maintenance or anything that you'd like to do, you can shut this down and any advertisements or anything that's attached to it will be ceased. You can also then assign your own VLAN. So if you run your own VLAN addressing scheme, you can assign a VLAN to it, or you can let the service that's here will auto assign. but I'm going to give it a VLAN 100 and it's said that VLAN is available. Then you have contract terms, which are available, which I've discussed before. So some discounting for contract. And then you're able to add resource tags if you want to do sorting by API tags. So I just click next. It gives you a summary of the service. I add that VXC, review that order. That then makes a call into our network to make sure that capacity is available. It then allows me to order that service, and that begins the deployment process. So that's really quite simple. So I let that carry on. I want to very quickly have a look at that connection. So already, although the service isn't up yet, you can look at the VXC details. You can go into details here. You can scroll down, and although the service status isn't green yet or isn't up, you can see that we've been assigned a PA address, a single PA address, IPv4 address for the circuit, and we've got a gateway address. So that's your next hop out of your service, and that's the address you assign to any equipment that you've got on your premise in that data center. So yes, so let's just show how easy it is to do the other services. So connection for the MVE, it's exactly the same. I've got a large range of options here because I can break out anywhere in the world, but I'm going to still go local. My device is blue. I'm going to select Frankfurt FR5 because that's blue as well. As I say, it doesn't have to be, or it could be both if you choose to. But from that diversity, good housekeeping, I'm going to select blue, and it's exactly the same. So I've got a service level reference. In this particular instance, I'm going to do 2 gig. I'm going to leave it untagged this time so that I can just run services directly into that box. I've got the ability to shut that VXC down, same contract terms, and I can just click next, and that begins the process of ordering that service. So review, places the call in just to make sure there's capacity available, and orders that service. And then finally, the MCR. So that's exactly the same process. We can just step through that quite quickly. Megaport Internet. We can select which region we want. So this is a red zone device. I'm going to select red zone here. Shows you that that's very local, so it's probably sub 1 millisecond. Select next. Rate limit. In this particular instance, I'll do a gig. Got all the same abilities, prices, VXC states. I can just add that. Click next. A summary of what we've just ordered. That VXC. Review that order. And that validates the order straight away. So let's just let that complete. So as you can see, if I go on to the last one, which is the MCR, we just have a quick look at the details of that connection. As you can see, another IP address allocated, an IPv6 /64 as well, which I did mention that we can do. So that's also been allocated. So that's all available and very useful. You can also look at usage logs by packet and traffic. So you've got over time, there won't be anything on this because it's obviously brand new, and the billing details for the service. So they're all really useful things that are available within the Megaport portal. Okay, so if we just close that down. Oops. Just close that down. Okay. Okay, so have we received any questions at this point? Let's just take a look. Okay, so the first question is a question that we've had a few times, which is, do you support 95th percentile billing? We don't support 95th percentile billing. We do, however, support, you can take a component of the internet on term. So you could take say for instance, 1 gig on term, and then you can effectively take whatever you need to burst to on a month-to-month basis, which is billed by the hour. So it's very flexible in terms of scaling it up when you anticipate that you're going to need extra capacity, and then scaling back down when you're finished with it. And then the next question is, what route advertisements do you offer? So we can offer from default only, some locally originated routes all the way through to full table, which is 900,000 routes. So, okay, looking through, that's probably the two main questions that we'll handle there. So just to recap, Megaport Internet allows your organization to have an internet capability whilst requiring no upfront investment from just a minimum hourly term. It creates an instant point of presence. It's also available in 16 countries and only requires a small amount of configuration, as you can see through the portal. It's great for projects both short and long term. It's very easy to deploy with easy to follow documentation on our website. Okay, so I think that's probably it for today. So I hope this has been useful, and please look out for other Megaport live sessions as they are great sound bites for what's evolving in the world of cloud and network connectivity. So until then, thank you and goodbye.